pray I don't regret this, but I genuinely do not want the Epstein files to be released. They are sacrosanct in a way, with the victims having experienced what they had experienced. I won't pretend to know about the Epstein files or the Epstein case, intimately. I don't, actually. But from my understanding, the prevailing thought in my head is that they are sacrosanct, like they are very tender. And I am genuinely concerned about the state of Americans. I don't want voyeurism to become a situation in which interest is feigned or sympathy, empathy is feigned. I don't want this to be a situation which is being exploited for political purposes. Very real pain and suffering that people have realized. I do believe that there is a lot of work that Americans need to do in regards to the situation with sexual trafficking and just the spirit of lust, right? Alternative, straight, alternative, just in the church, out the church, high places, low places. It is for this reason that I do not believe that the Epstein files should be released. I think that some people are genuinely convicted. They genuinely do have they want justice to prevail. But not only do I believe that it is not going to serve that purpose, too much time has passed, and many of the things that could be done to answer the question of justice in this time, even after so many years have passed, are simply not going to be done, most likely. And it's a shame that I can speak with almost certainty and authority on that because of the way that many people make decisions that are simply lamentations, lamentable to God. It is for these very, very valid reasons, I believe, that I do not believe that the Epstein files should be released. I think that a lot of the sentiment is simply American whimsy. It is American whimsy. It is not because there is genuine, authentic care and concern and attention to detail and justice. So this serves as voyeurism and exploitation, and it could possibly do a potential disservice to people rather than a service if they're struggling with lust and struggling with love for their neighbor. I mean, they're not even addressing, Americans are not even holding the government to task for the welfare of the current children in the current school system, making sure that every building actually looks like a building that should be proud of. I mean, it's been years, so I suppose that I could be wrong in that regard, and if I am, I truly do apologize. I extend my apologies. Back in the day, some of the buildings were straight up decrepit, and that is where people were sending their children. But even then, the issue of the safety, ISIS presumably, and I know I speak very boldly, and I know it's tender, but so is child death unnecessarily, because most people don't die when they're 13, 15, 16 years old. Unless something truly terrible has happened, unless something truly bizarre has happened. So nonetheless, I do not believe that the Epstein files should be released. Mr. President Trump, unless you presume Mr. President Trump or his administration are currently acting in activities that would hurt and harm children that are very real in this time frame. And I know that I'm saying something completely like a bomb, a verbal bomb, but nonetheless, that which he is doing now, he has been the go-to to abolish certain behaviors, and no one else, whether Democrat or Republican, has had the courage, the veracity to actually do so. So even with matters such as people who I respect, like Prophetess Celestial, I disagree on this one thing. If it was my child and this person, regardless of what he has done in the past or not, is the only one that is actually willing and possesses the courage and the fortitude to actually help my child, I think if she were to be completely authentic, which most of the time I think she is, and truly has conviction, she would want someone who is going to help her child immediately, and that is Mr. President Trump. Neither party has demonstrated any willingness to truly move the needle when it comes to certain things. And she knows that. She has said it expressly. But this one man has done more than either party, sadly, gravely sadly, oddly, bizarrely sadly, to help and assist. And frankly, if gay marriage were actually something I believe the church was actually against, because Mr. President, I believe, would have handed it to the party. The reason why he didn't, I believe, is because of something very insidious in America, even within the American church. I'm not so sure that the so-called Christian evangelical is not gay. The so-called Christian American evangelical is hiding things, where there is not, you can't have that many people who are true Christians and still have gay marriage and still not be able to move the needle in trafficking, human rights, and common sense measures that if you require people to bring their children anywhere, you had better feed them, you had better keep them safe, and you better be able to account for their whereabouts during the school day or wherever that place of compulsive attendance is. I feel like I express sentiment that is common sense. I do not think I'm saying anything remotely asinine on this upload. It is for these very valid reasons that I do not believe that victims should be hearing, not even in hindsight, that the Epstein files have been released for. To who? To who? I believe that the conviction is feigned. May God have mercy on my soul. I pray that it is not. But if I were to go with my gut, I believe that the conviction, the so-called conviction American people are feeling, is feigned. For they do not even take care of the ones that are closest to them, that they see every day, that are crying out for their help. But yet they're so deeply consumed with concern and enamored with these unnamed victims of Mr. Epstein. I don't believe it. Maybe prayerfully I'm wrong, but I just do not believe it. I'm not convinced. So as someone who has been advocating for such peoples for over so many years now, I do not think that the files should be released to the public, many of whom are actually complicit. And I said that.